college football playoff rankings are out for the first time in 2017. Brad Nessler, the voice of the SEC on CBS, will join us in hour number 3. But I am turning to my right and thrilled to have sitting here in person here on this show someone who I got a chance to meet way back in the day a few times, but now fresh off of a symposium that I moderated at the Milken Conference that included Maverick Carter, co-founder of Uninterrupted and Spring Hill Entertainment, here on the show. Good to see you, Maverick.
Thank you for having me, Rich.
Yeah, I appreciate it. You travel all over. How often are you on planes? Working things out with you?
More than I would like, but I try and minimize it as much as I can.
How much time do you spend going to games then? Do you go to a lot of games or not really?
Not really. I don't. NBA games, I go to a few, more, but not as I used to go to a whole lot. I used to probably average 60 a year counting playoffs. Now I'm probably down to like 10. 15.
Okay. And do you go as a fan at all? Or
I definitely go as a fan. I have not lost my fandom as I've become a part of the industry.
Yes.
And obviously my partner is LeBron. I still go as a fan. I still go to appreciate the game and appreciate the athletes playing in the game.
So who do you appreciate outside of obviously 23?
In basketball?
Yeah.
Because I'm a huge NFL fan and I'm a baseball playoff fan. I was at the game last night.
Okay. I'm trying to avoid the subject of football with you.
Got it. Okay, I get it.
Because I understand what your collegiate rooting interest is.
You're trying to avoid the subject of football with me because I am from Akron, Ohio, and Rich obviously has the Michigan helmet on his desk.
If you noticed, it's somewhat prominently displayed.
There's a rumor going around based on what's been happening over the last 20 years that they're going to change the name of the University of Michigan to the University of Ohio State of Ann Arbor. It's just going to be like an Ann Arbor campus for Ohio State. It's just a rumor. So you should hold on to that diploma. It'll be worth something.
No, I know, Maverick, I know I have a few years on you. There was a guy named John Cooper once upon a time.
That's true.
And even with the recent success, I wouldn't peg it at 20 years if I had to choose a year. I don't know if it's 20. Okay. But I understand that Tressel lit it up.
Close to 20.
Okay. This is why I was trying to avoid the
You tried.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the all-time series now is tied.
Everyone
Even
always says that. Everyone, because the president of Uninterrupted went to the University of Michigan. He's an African-American guy. And he says, the series all time is this. I said, you're counting games when African-Americans could even play. I'm like, you can't do that. What are you going to count games from 1902?
Well, I guess yes.
I'm like, you can't count those games.
And B,
it's like Babe Ruth,
I can't help but notice then that one of the most successful branders and business people in our sports world and entertainment world, nationally and internationally, chooses as the president of their company a University of Michigan graduate.
This is true.
So when it all matters.
It does matter. That is true.
The dollars and the cents.
That is true.
And the business and the branding, Maverick Carter, when it all matters, where do you go?
Guy from the University of Michigan. That is true. Well, now it's going to be the Ohio State of University of Ann Arbor, but sure.
Gosh almighty. Now, seriously, growing up in that, so you were growing up for
Big
real?
Buckeye
This
fan.
is the real deal, okay?
Big Buckeye fan from Akron. In fact, I also tell him this is another everything great that's happened at the University of Michigan football came from Ohio.
Okay.
Desmond, Cleveland, Charles Dayton, Schembechler, Harbaugh, all from Ohio. Les Miles is from Ohio. Schembechler's from Ohio.
Well, I know. Well, both from the cradle of coaches, Miami of Ohio. Woody Hayes was a mentor of his.
Yep.
Oh, I know all that.
Yep.
Okay. Right, now that we've got that out of our system.
Now that we're past that. I go to a game as a fan.
Yes.
I'm a fan of Westbrook, just players. I love Westbrook. I love the Warriors. The thing to love about the Warriors and what makes them great is their attitudes towards the game, their chemistry. That's what makes them lethal. Pre-Kevin Durant, now with Kevin Durant, obviously he makes them extremely lethal, but pre-Kevin Durant, the best part about the Warriors was their chemistry. The fact that Klay Thompson was fine always guarding the much tougher guard, whether that guard was a point guard or whether that guard was a two guard, he took them. But Steph got all the accolades. Steph got the MVPs. Most time in basketball, if I'm the two guard and you're the point guard, and the other team's best player is their point guard, and I guard him, then I should get. I feel, and then I can score too and play as well as Clay does. I want the accolades too. I would go, well, Rich, if you're going to get the accolades and MVPs, you got to guard your guy, and they never do that. They just play the game the way it's supposed to be. So I love that the Warriors. I love, again, Westbrook. I love Anthony Davis. Right now, my favorite player to watch, counting LeBron, is the Greek Freak.
He's incredible.
It's just like
Giannis is truly just taking I don't want to put anything on it, I mean, it's just 3 weeks, but you could see that he has taken a giant leap. Well, he began to do in the playoffs last year.
Absolutely. And if I told you, I didn't look at the numbers this morning, but like as of, through 5 games, a guy is averaging 35 points and shooting 60% from the field, you go, oh, Shaq is back. And he hasn't made a jumper.
Nice.
He hasn't made one jumper. He's averaging, imagine you could score 35 points and you don't have to make a jumper. That's amazing. Don't shoot jumpers. Mm-hmm. I love Greek Freak. I love watching Kyrie. He's fantastic with the ball. I mean, there's nobody better with the ball, and he's like a wizard with the ball. And the thing I love about watching Kyrie the most, he's always loose. He plays in NBA games and playoff games and finals games like he's at a playground. You'd think he's playing like a pickup game, and he's in the middle of a crucial game. Steph has that a little bit too, where they just play loose. They just kind of always loose and letting it fly and letting it go.
Maverick Carter here on the Rich Eisen Show, co-founder of Uninterrupted. As we mentioned, I couldn't help but notice looking at all the athletes that are on Uninterrupted, providing content, conducting interviews, documentaries. Is a great one with Al Harrington that we're going to show to our television audience in a second. I saw Draymond on there. I mean, so Draymond Green and Team LeBron were all cool. Is that all good?
I love Draymond Green. Draymond Green is the best quality about him as a basketball player and as a person is he's super intelligent. He picks up on things super quick, super smart. I think that's his best skill as a basketball player. I think he would probably agree. As a basketball player, the best thing that he does is the attitude he brings to the game and the intelligence he brings to the game. He's by far the centerpiece of what I was saying I'm the fan of the Warriors, of that chemistry, of that knowing, doing only what you know how to do, sticking to your thing. They do that, and he's the centerpiece, and he's the driving force behind that. It's no secret. Everyone says it. Bob Myers, their GM, talks about it. Steve Kerr does. So I love Draymond. He's a smart guy, very intelligent guy, very outspoken guy. So perfect for what we do is, telling stories with athletes. At Uninterrupted, he always has a story to tell or an opinion to share.
Yeah, I know. He sure does. And I was wondering about Uninterrupted. Why did you guys at Spring Hill Entertainment and everybody else and Team LeBron, as you would call it, want to get into this business of Uninterrupted?
Well, we wanted to because I myself have always been in the storytelling business. I worked at Nike. That's where I started my career.
Yeah.
And as I tell people, Nike's really a storytelling company. They happen to sell footwear and apparel instead of movie tickets and subscriptions to a channel, but they really don't ever talk much about their product or the price of it. They definitely never tell you the price of it. Nice. They just tell you fantastic stories about Michael Jordan and Serena Williams, Roger Federer, Neymar, and LeBron. They just tell you these amazing stories, and it moves you emotionally. And that's where I graduated. When people ask me what college did you graduate from, I say Nike. And if you can tell me a better marketing and branding school in sports, I don't think there's one out there. So, and then with LeBron, he and I being partners and me managing his career off the court, I've always been telling stories my whole life. And then obviously when LeBron's changed teams twice now.
Yeah, I heard that.
You've heard that, right?
Yes.
The first time we did a television show with your old company.
Yes.
That everyone said was a disaster, horrible. And though I agree, not produced well, it still is, to this day, the highest ranking non-live sports thing on that network of all time. And one of the highest ranked non-sports thing on cable and paid cable. So, and now everybody does that. Everybody's telling stories that way. ESPN has a whole show for high school kids to do it now, to pick their college. And then the second time, when he changed again, I don't know if you heard that, but
yes, that's just breaking news. Yes.
Yeah, breaking news. He changed again. He did the same thing. He controlled his message, but he wrote it in a letter, and everyone loved it. And that was in July of 14. In that letter, he wrote a line that was the inspiration for the business. He says, I'm writing this letter instead of doing a press conference because I want to get all my thoughts out without any interruption. And that line literally, we put out the letter. We literally 2 hours later, we were on a plane flying to Brazil to go to the World Cup final. We went to see the Germany-Argentina match. And after too much wine and talking about the letter, we came up with the idea that we should build a digital media company that's distributed everywhere that allows athletes to tell the stories that matter to them.
And at uninterrupted.com, there's a great documentary, about 15 minutes long, 14 and change, with Al Harrington, who is now suddenly deep into the cannabis business, and a sit-down interview with David Stern about the subject, which was awesome to see. And we'll show that on the TV side first, but I do want to ask you this before we take our first break, and we'll come back. If you could go in the Wayback Machine, what would you change from that decision show, Maverick?
From the first
decision show, what would you change?
A lot. I wouldn't change. I would still do it. We would do that show. We would take over the media and give the $3.5 million to charity. Mm-hmm. The production of the show would change. Just how the show was literally produced. I wasn't experienced at all in TV production then. ESPN, obviously, I turned it over to them. I would change how the show laid out, how it rolled out. I would change the production of the show.
Just how long it took for him to...
How long it took, the takes, the kind of dragging it out. That's the only thing I would change about the show, but I would still do it 100%.
Would you want a different host? Say somebody that's sitting across from you right now, Maverick?
Yeah, I think that would work. Maybe, we could do it on the Rich Eisen show. Maybe we take it.
Now
we're getting somewhere.
Well, certainly if there might be another decision to be made in the next calendar year. Just throwing that out there.
Again, as you said, I like the University of Michigan guys. They're really smart guys and do things the right way.
When it matters.
Really do things the right way.
When the rubber meets the road. Someone from Akron who would know that phrase. When
Absolutely.
the rubber meets the road.
Exactly.
We'll take a break and touch upon that subject and more with Maverick Carter before Adam Schefter joins us here on this edition of the Rich Eisen Show. Welcome back to the Rich Eisen Show. Adam Schefter joining us in a moment. Maverick Carter, the business partner of LeBron James for well over a decade now, here on the Rich Eisen Show. How do you and LeBron choose what you get involved in business-wise?
That is a great question. And you're right, it has been over a decade now since I left Nike and became partners with LeBron. But we choose based on things that, first and foremost, if we're going to invest in it, the people who are going to run this business, who are going to be the managers, who are going to focus on this business day to day, because that's most important. I focus on Uninterrupted and Spring Hill day to day. So if we put an investment, I can't focus on something else day to day. So it's really about the people, A, and B, things that we really either like and or are authentic to us, and we feel like if we get involved, we can actually move the needle. We can actually get first downs with this business too, be it ideas, be it putting LeBron's face on it, putting his name on it, but most importantly is the people. We really want to be in business with people we like, people we think are going to bust their butt every day and build this business and build this company, and people that we want to do business with. And that, because a lot of times you do business with someone, if it works out or it doesn't, you end up making friends, and those are people you go on to do other things with in life.
So just reading into things, so LeBron likes pizza, game shows.
So using Blaze, that's a great example.
Sure.
So Blaze came to us. I went and looked at the concept before it was launched. I met the gentleman who was starting, a guy named Rick Wetzel. Might be familiar because everyone's pretty much heard of Wetzel's Pretzels.
My gosh, I'm going to an airport shortly.
Exactly. So Rick Wetzel started Wetzel's Pretzels, and when I met him, we started talking about how well Wetzel's Pretzels did, and I got the feeling he didn't make a whole lot of money. Like, he made a lot of money, but he obviously didn't make enough to retire because he had a new business idea. That's what I knew. So I said to myself, I went back to LeBron, I said, I saw this concept that's incredible. I think it's going to work. LeBron's statement was, who doesn't like pizza? Which I agreed with him. So that's check one. Mm-hmm. I told him that you haven't met the guy yet, but the guy running it, imagine you, LeBron, as competitive as you are, had to wake up every single day and know that there was 400 restaurants called LeBron's, and you didn't make all the money. You'd want to kill somebody. You'd wake up every day a killer. I'm betting on that guy. He's going to make this into something.
Nice.
He has to wake up every day and see Wetzel's Pretzels, but he didn't make enough money to retire. So that that guy, that person is going to bust their butt. They're hungry. They don't want to lose. And the third thing is LeBron had a long-lasting relationship with McDonald's, and it was just time to move on. So this was the perfect next thing to do. So those are the three reasons we did it.
Maverick Carter here on the Rich Eisen Show. How important is it to where he plays basketball for your decision making?
These days, it doesn't matter anymore. You could think about it now. The Lakers and the Knicks have been bad. The Knicks for a very long time. The Lakers for, I don't know, since Kobe kind of aged out of being the best player or one of the best players in the league. And basketball is growing and doing as great as ever with teams in Oklahoma City and Cleveland. These days, it doesn't matter because you can be known and be a star from anywhere in the world. So it doesn't actually matter. I mean, could he sell a few more sneakers if he was in a gigantic market like Boston or Chicago or New York or LA? Maybe, but not as much as if he wins. What matters the most is if he wins. When you win as an athlete, that matters the most.
Well, let me just cut straight to the heart of the matter, if you don't mind. I mean, Los Angeles, your Spring Hill Entertainment, we all have seen he crushed it. LeBron crushed it in Trainwreck.
Yeah, that was
terrific.
Good. He was good, right?
Terrific, not good. He was terrific. John Cena was terrific in it too.
Yeah.
LeBron outshined him. Anyway, the reason why I bring it up is it makes sense, okay? If he wants to be in movies, if you and as a business model want to go in the entertainment direction, certainly when he's phasing out of his professional playing career, Los Angeles makes perfect sense. Is there any there to that part of the conversation, Maverick?
The reason I understand people keep saying that and thinking that, but the reason it doesn't make sense is because if he plays in LA or he plays on the moon, he can only shoot movies for 3 months. It's not like it doesn't matter. Even if he played in LA and he wanted to be in a movie, he can't shoot from basically September to June.
But he could take a meeting in an off day in between two home
He
games.
also could do that from these days from anywhere in the world. A. And B, we're doing fine without him living here and playing here. And he comes, he has a home here in the off season. He lives in LA in the off season. Our company, we have, 10 shows in development. 10 shows in deals. We have 2 shows with Netflix, a show with HBO, and none of them are starring him or he's just the EP on him running the company, as a founder of the company with me. Mm-hmm. So the company doesn't need him to be here. And if he wants to act in movies, it doesn't matter because he only gets 3 months a year to do it anyway, no matter where he plays.
So knowing what you know.
And being your question about a meeting.
Yes.
He's LeBron, Rich. People will go where he is. Like, it actually works, you know what I mean? Like, if LeBron says, I want to have a meeting or someone wants to meet, and he's like, I'm in, Detroit, and it's 10 below, people go, we got coats. We'll be there. People go where LeBron is. I'm just telling you. I didn't know if you knew that or not.
No. There's coats. There's enough layers.
People
will
go
layer.
anywhere.
So people will layer for LeBron.
People will layer for LeBron.
So then again, knowing what you know, let all of us in the media in on when should we really start focusing on what LeBron's decision making is for his next playing career step. When is it? Now is it now? Because we're reading in everything.
He never starts thinking about it before the end of the season. So I would say whenever their season ends, hopefully it's in June for his sake and for the sake of his family, because he goes crazy at home. I would say he usually like a week after decompresses, lets it all calm down, then a week after. Sometimes he could take a little longer, but at least a week after the season starts.
Okay. Maverick Carter here on the Rich Eisen Show, uninterrupted.com. Check it all out for all this, all of the neat pieces of content that's on there, videos and documentaries. Lovers of sport, athletes, and fans. It's a digital media company totally dedicated to that. It is great to see you. Thank you
for having me,
Thank you
Rich.
for
This is
coming.
fantastic.
Schefter's calling in.
Schefter's my man.
Is he blowing you up, trying to get?
No, not yet.
Come on. Now I know that.
But he called me. He blew me up when they start letting him do basketball.
That's
coverage.
what I'm about to say.
It was so funny.
He's got. I mean, because he's a big NBA fantasy freak. Is he calling you for information?
Sometimes, not yet though.
Okay. Because he's nonstop like that.
He is nonstop.
Okay. At Mav Carter on Twitter. Please, hopefully this is the first of many times I see you in this studio. Anytime.
Absolutely.
Really love it. And certainly if you ever need a Michigan man for anything,
Absolutely.
you know where to find me. That's Maverick.
Just not for football.
Well, if you need any NFL tips.
That's
I know
true.
you got Schefter.
No, I'm saying.
By the way, you know where he went to school?
Where'd he go?
Michigan.
Are you serious?
Yes.
I'm saying I will call a Michigan man for anything except to play football because you guys don't do that.
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady. I do love Tom. Tom is my man. I do love Tom.
How many holes can I poke in this theory of yours?
I love Tom's a friend of mine. I love Tom.
Okay.
That's true.
All right. Maverick Carter here on The Rich Eisen Show. Back in 60 seconds with Adam.
For more Rich Eisen Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV or download the Rich Eisen Show app.